The Federation Account Allocation Committee has disbursed the total sum of 906.955 billion naira as October 2023 Federation account revenue to the federal government, states and local government councils, according to a communique issued by the committee at its November 2023 meeting. The 906.955 billion naira disbursable revenue comprised 305.070 billion statutory revenue, 323.446 billion value-added tax revenue, 15.552 billion naira electronic money transfer levy revenue, 202.887 billion naira exchange difference revenue, and 60 billion naira augmentation. Total revenue of 1,364.519 billion naira was available in October 2023. Deductions for the cost of collection amounted to 53.483 billion naira, and total transfers, interventions, and refunds totaled 386.081 billion naira. Joining us now to discuss this a little further is our financial market analyst, Muktar Mohammed. Muktar, always a pleasure to have you on the news. Thanks for giving us your time again. How does the allocation of funds by the committee correspond to the multi-dimensional poverty index as the MPI across the different regions in Nigeria? Are there any discernible patterns or discrepancies in the allocation and poverty levels that stand out? Okay, I think you're muted, sir. If you can unmute, please.
Oh, sorry. So I said, when you talk about multidimensional poverty, we're talking about poverty that have to do monetary poverty, talking about poverty that has to do with educational poverty. Then you're talking about poverty that has to do with infrastructural poverty. Those are the multidimensional poverty we talked about that were majorly in Nigeria. And so when you look at allocation, the discriminations in this allocation, you realize that if you go to the north, we are looking at multidimensional poverty in almost all these three areas: education, monetary side, and also we are looking at infrastructural decay, also in the northern part of Nigeria. If you come to the southwest, then you are looking at infrastructural decay. Even if education is there, it's not as bad as what you see in the monetary value. It seems to be common. But now this allocation, have you really helped to address those issues? I don't think so. Because when you look at the north, the level of enrollment into agriculture, into schools is still high. It's still very, very low. The monetary value in terms of, like you said in your report, cash direct transfer, we've not seen that really hit the ground running because it shows a lot of political political incident. Maybe you must belong to a particular party to be able to benefit from that. And also, we don't have the data to look at how much this also help in reducing poverty. In terms of infrastructure, you know that it's prominent all over Nigeria, but again, it's more in a particular region than some other region.
Considering the amount allocated to each region, how effectively have these regions utilized the funds in terms of socio-economic development, infrastructure, poverty alleviation, and other key indicators? Is there any noteworthy correlation between the allocations and the aggregate development?
It's difficult to see any of that because, again, when you are looking at that, like I said, you are looking at, okay, how much have they put into agriculture to bring? Well, agriculture also to bring a lot of people out of poverty level by virtue of agriculture. How much have they put into educational sector? How much have they put into the health sector to reduce malnutrition? And also how much have they put in terms of monetary value? And sometimes that monetary value might not come in cash transfer, it might come in job creation. How much of these funds have been involved in that have been able to create jobs? If you look at it, you will not be impressed at all with the numbers you are seeing. So basically, what we've seen in most of the states is that the government pride themselves to have paid salaries of civil servants as a way of addressing multidimensional poverty. So what we see is that most of this allocation goes in for mostly luxury, what I call recurrent expenditure. So you are not seeing that in capital expenditure. And how many of these citizens of this state or indigenous of this state are really employed by this government? So definitely, I sit here looking at it. I don't think those funds have any major impact on any of these sites.
Okay, on the flip side of the coin, same question. In light of the multidimensional poverty index figures provided for each zone, how useful could these funds have been in reducing poverty in each zone if they are well utilized?
I think it has to deal with you need to look at the peculiarity of each zone and be able to address those issues. The challenge is that we tend to address issue uniformly without looking at peculiarity in terms of what are the challenges in some of these zones. If you look at the northwest or northwest as it stands now, you look at the security challenges. So some of those funds will be put into fighting insecurity and also getting a lot of students that are out of school, a two-way approach, because some of these children that are used are those that are out of school. So you want to bring them back to school. You want to also fight this insecurity. Then if you come to the south, and then you have to also deal with oil thief also. That has a part of with insecurity. And also then you have to also begin to look at the people in terms of infrastructure. And again, agriculture is non-existent because of the pollution. So when you come to the Southwest, what you are dealing with is infrastructural challenges. How do you build more road networks to connect those people? So each government should be able to look at the peculiarity of their challenges and begin to address it. That's when we begin to see value in terms of those monies that are being released to the state government to tackle this multi-dimensional poverty. But as it is now, we all see a uniform approach. A state is doing project, the other state wants to do the same project. Some states do not look at their peculiarity. A state like Lagos State pride himself to building big educational structures for their peoples or for their students, or yet the manpower to drive critical development, mental development are not available. So definitely we need to begin to look at those things rather than just addressing it. Oh, we need road. Oh, because Lagos is doing road. Sokoto also wants to do road because Lagos is Lagos Ogun has an airport. Ogun is feeling that Lagos have an airport, so want to build an airport. They are not looking at what economic variable can that airport actually create for its people. I think when we begin to look at things by and by our precarity, then we'll begin to address this problem of multidimensional poverty.
Thank you, as always, for your time.